My Hero Academia Chapter 417 is here, and with the final battle between Shigaraki and Deku coming to an end, tensions run high, and the wills of both heroes and villains will be put to the test. And now, without any further ado, My Hero Academia Chapter 417 Shimura. Deku pierces through the mass of withering fingers that is Tomura Shigaraki, blowing back the sea below him and sending the UA drone camera flying. Viewers from all over the world stare in shock and confusion, wondering what the heck just happened, while one of the kids from Endeavor's fight against Nomu explains. Deku has just broken into Shigaraki's hold. But he hasn't just broken into Shigaraki's physical shell. With that punch, Deku fires off the remaining wielders of One for All, knocking Shigaraki unconscious and smashing open his mental barrier as well. But when the smoke clears, one wielder still remains, the seventh user, Nana Shimura. She calls out for the other users, wandering through the wasteland they called home, and wondering why only she couldn't make it to the other side. She flashes back to a brief encounter with Shigaraki, where he reminds her that he holds nothing in his heart towards her except hate. But she doesn't think that's the case. Flashing back to the last time she saw her son, Shigaraki's father, she realizes that the reason she was pushed back was because of her own weakness, even after all the years of planning. Maybe she just wasn't ready to face Shigaraki's broken mind, the broken mind of her grandson. Meanwhile, Deku stands in front of the childhood home of Tomura Shigaraki, the man on the verge of destroying the world. But an eerie voice stops him in his tracks. Deku stands face to face with none other than himself, or at least how Shigaraki envisions him in his mind. Dark, shadowy, and glitching in and out of existence, this form argues with Deku, asking him what good will come from knowing about Tomura Shigaraki's past. Deku retorts, claiming that he doesn't know, but he won't let things end without finding out. To which Deku yells at him to die, and to which Deku apologizes for the intrusion. In the blink of an eye, Deku was face to face with an all too well known shonen protagonist, the god of Isekai himself, Truck-kun. He barrels down towards Deku. Deku dodges him, slightly damaging his backpack. But that's not what grabbed my attention. What grabbed my attention is, normally, Deku could stop a truck with his bare hands no problem. The fact that he evaded the truck means that not only does he not have his superpowers in this mindscape, Deku can die from normal attacks. Which means that any potentially fatal damage Deku takes while in Shigaraki's mindscape could lead to potentially fatal damage to his physical form. All of this is soon confirmed by Shimura Nana, appearing as a visage in the mind of Midoriya. She explains to him that as a one-for-all user, he has a physical form in Shigaraki's consciousness, and that she was the only one who didn't make it out. But Deku doesn't seem to mind. In fact, he's glad to have her by his side in the most delicate part of their mission. They're at Shigaraki's core, his origin. All they have to do is find him at his weakest points and strike at his origin. Deku races towards the door, while the words origin ring over and over in Nana's head. But then suddenly, a dark shape appears in the sky. It pins Deku to the ground with his blades. It's none other than the villain, Stain. The villain tells Deku that he's about to die. But before he can enact his plan, his face morphs. Deku is faced with Redestro. Then in an instant, he's faced with Overhaul. These aren't Shigaraki's memories, but Deku. The villains question Deku, asking him whether the young hero has a plan, to which Deku replies no, and breaks away, destroying the images in the process. He tears the door open, but instead of seeing the interior of a house, he's faced with another image, a picture of Shimura Nana and her son, Kotaro. They burst through the door as a memory of Shigaraki's plays behind them. It's a memory of his sister, Hana. She tells him they can be a superhero team, as long as he doesn't tell their father. But what Deku sees as he walks through that door is the aftermath of that secret. Kotaro brutally beats up a shadowy outline of a child, Shigaraki. Deku and Nana stare in horror at the sheer rage in Kotaro's eyes, and at the frightened image of a child laying in the dirt. Without hesitation, Deku rushes towards them, but is met by some sort of invisible force field. Deku soon realizes that he's not being merely blocked, but rejected. But with Shigaraki so close to his grasp, he cannot give up just yet. Kotaro begins to express his feelings for his mother, claiming that it wasn't Shigaraki's grandmother in the photo, but a monster who abandoned her own children. And with those words, a realization dawned on Shimura. As Kotaro raised his hands for the final strike against Shigaraki, Nana realized that he had kept the photo all these years simply because he could not let go of the fact that he had been abandoned by his own mother. Kotaro claimed that heroes are none other than those who hurt their family members just to help random strangers. With those words, Nana Shimura breaks down. She realizes that the wound she had inflicted on her son, Kotaro, had festered and spread to his son, Shigaraki, fueling his hatred for heroes and generally everybody around him. Had she only defeated All for One and come back for Kotaro, maybe, just maybe, she breaks down into tears, apologizing to her son for everything she's put him through and for being such a weak mother, as he raises his hand to strike Shigaraki again. But Deku, watching from the sidelines, can't take any more of this. He screams for Shimura to help him, to do anything, and as he does this, the also familiar glow appears on his hand. Shimura breaks through the barrier and holds her son in place, while Deku leaps towards Shigaraki. She holds his hand steady, apologizing as they both fade away into nothing, with the image of Shigaraki's mental state shattering in the background. With the two of them now gone, the shadowy image of Shigaraki begins to take form. He holds his dog close to his chest and whispers that he absolutely cannot take it anymore, as the telltale lines of decay spread throughout the dog's neck. His quirk has been activated. The origin of decay. While editing this video, I was scrolling through Instagram. I saw a lot of comments about how during this fight, Deku's uniform changes from his high school one to a junior high one. And by the end of the chapter, he does look a bit younger. I'm yet to see whether this has any importance to the plot or is just something that happens. But knowing Horikoshi, everything's important to the plot. We'll know when chapter 418 comes out. That won't be next week, that'll be the week after, seeing as how they have a break next week. So thank you to everybody that made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe. We're hitting 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. And without any further ado, I'm the Source Material, signing out.